What is going on, everybody? My name is Dakota, and welcome back to Coda's Cologne. Today we have a special one. I was not able to get a bottle of this, but today we're going to be looking at and reviewing the new release from Parfums de Marly. This is Althaïr. This is their new 2023 release. Been out for about a month. I tried to get my hands on this as quickly as possible. As soon as I found somebody that had a bottle or a decant or anything, not a bottle, I can't afford a bottle. As soon as we found somebody that was able to decant one of these, I jumped on it as soon as possible and tried to get it so that way I could do a review for you guys. So this review, because it's going to be in decant, is going to be just a little bit different than the type of reviews that you're used to seeing. Unfortunately, won't be able to show off the bottle, won't be able to show off the atomizer or anything like that. But I can still get down to the most important part, which is the part that everybody wants to know about, and that is how this smells. So with that being said, we got our little decant here and let's get into it. Alrighty, so one other thing that I did just a little bit different than normal is because this is a brand new fragrance, I have not sprayed this on my skin a single time, but I just got this in the mail today and I knew that I was going to immediately want to do a review on it. So rather than putting it on my skin right away, I put it on a tester here. This has been simmering for over 6 hours. So we are in, this should be into the deepest dry down that it could possibly be. I was able to get some of the air scent on this when I sprayed it on the test strip, and the air scent is amazing. So I know I've said before in the past that I kind of like heavy vanilla. I like some of the honey and tobacco, stuff like that. This doesn't have honey, nor does it have tobacco, but what it does bring to the table is an intense, extreme vanilla with a little bit of a gourmand and just a touch of boozy. So when you first spray this, my nose, it kind of picks up on just a hair touch of booziness. I know on the breakdown this has vanilla and praline, and to me when you kind of mix those two together, you do get, not a lot, but you do get like a hint of booziness, and I'm picking that up on this just off when I first sprayed it in the air. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and dive into this together. Put 2 shots on the wrist there. Go ahead and, whew, that's potent. Went a little too hard there the first time. My first impression of when this, because that's the first time fragrance has went to skin. I love this. All right, so let's dive into Parfums de Marly Althaïr. When you spray this on your skin for the first time, you get hit with an overwhelming sweetness, but it's a beautiful sweetness. This doesn't feel bubblegummy sweet to me. This doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like this is like a kind of a younger sweet maybe. Like it feels like it has a beautiful blend where the age gap is very wide on this. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and go over some of the notes to this. That while I'm gonna let this dry down a little more, I'm gonna go ahead and go over some of the notes. So the top notes on this are gonna be cardamom, cinnamon, bergamot, and orange blossom. To me, orange blossom is something they kind of use when they're going for kind of a warm, maybe sweet, maybe touch of citrusy type of fragrance. The middle notes on this are going to be bourbon, vanilla, and elemi. I do not know what elemi is, but to me, elemi, just kind of based on how this is drying down and the blend of the fragrance, I would assume elemi is sweet, whatever it is. And then the base notes on this are going to be praline, ambroxan, musk, and gaiac wood. So I'm assuming that gaiac wood is going to be some of that deep, rich, dark, woody note that I kind of get. Unfortunately, I don't really know what the performance and the projection on this particular one is just yet. I know based off of this test strip that I was able to do, when I sprayed it on that, this test strip actually pumps out very good. Like it's been 6 hours and you don't have to hunt for this scent at all. Like you don't, because some of these sometimes you kind of got to get right up on your nose. This one you don't have to do that. It's very present. So what I will do, I will try to get into this a little bit. That's kind of what the bottle looks like. The person that I got this decant from did a wonderful job on these decants. Good thick glass bottle, good lid. The atomizer's pressurized. It's a pretty good atomizer. But if you're someone that's looking for a niche fragrance or maybe like an introduction into a Parfums de Marly, if you're someone who really likes those kind of sweet gourmand style fragrances, give this one a try. Now, when it comes to availability on this, other than say getting maybe a bottle someone didn't like or a decant off of like a Facebook group or something like that, the only discounters that I've been able to find that even got a batch of this at all was Fragrance Buy, and I think it was $240 if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, it's pretty much going to be buying it directly from Parfums de Marly. There's one or two other websites that had it, but they want full retail, like $350 for the 125 mil. As beautiful of a fragrance as this is, that is a steep price. So I know, like myself, I won't be buying a full presentation for this until it really gets the discounters. If I could find one for 220, I think I would go 220 on this. This fragrance isn't something that is just ungodly unique. It's not something that's vastly different. What I'm noticing, like the way the notes break down, the way everything else is happening in this fragrance, this is a beautifully blended fragrance. It's a fragrance that, kind of based on what I've seen so far, I would guess the performance on this is going to be somewhere in the 6 to 10 hour. And I know it's kind of a bigger gap than I normally do, but I would guess the performance on this is going to be somewhere in that 6 to 10 hour. I'm willing to bet the sillage in this would be in the 2 to 3 foot range. I don't think it's going to have a monster sillage, even though the notes and the breakdown and the blend of this, it could. That would just be my guess, is in the 2 to 3 foot range maybe. And I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a little more, a little bigger. I'm probably gonna be wearing this a lot, actually, you know, because fall is upon us, and I think Parfums de Marly knew exactly what they were doing when they released this. A lot of people, myself included, when you think of fall, you think of a warmth, sweet, something like that. That's what I lean toward. When I think of fall, I think of boozy, sweet, a little gourmandy. To me, a fall fragrance also has to have a little bit of freshness to it, maybe just a touch of aromatic, maybe a little green, maybe like a touch of citrus, something like that. To me, a winter fragrance is the one where I want that extremely deep, dark, rich. This has that deep, dark richness to it, but this also pulls through a lot of sweetness. This helps pull through to that fall fragrance with some of that powderiness that it has, a little touch of that greenness, that orange blossom coming through. So to me, this right here could be a beautiful embodiment of what a fall fragrance could be. And I might go so far as to say what one should be. As it dries down, some of that vanilla, some of that amberiness comes through. And to me, this doesn't have some like crazy morph or some crazy change to it. I don't really think it has that, because what I've sprayed on my wrist after this 30 minutes, because at this point in the video it's been about 30 minutes. I keep kind of giving little gaps in between segments to try to get this to dry down more and more on my skin. And it doesn't really seem like it's drying down any more than what it is right now. So to me, this one doesn't have some like crazy change. It's not like some massive layer to dry down. But what I will say is that this changes enough to where when you spray it, it loses just a touch of that booziness that you get on the front. That dies off. Some more sweetness pulls through. Some of that guaiac wood starts to pull through, and some of that amber starts to come through on that dry down. To me, the more it dries down, the more it turns into a fall fragrance. So yeah, I would have no problem wearing this in the fall. I would have no problem wearing this on a date, anything like that. This could be a knee-jerk reaction, but for me, if I had to rate this fragrance, I don't know the performance yet, so I don't think this is gonna be my purely accurate fragrance. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. If this thing performs the way that I know some Parfums de Marly can, I will go ahead and give this a 10 out of 10. But because I don't know the performance yet, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna give it a 9. Only, and that's purely based on scent profile. If the performance is scent profile wise, I would give this a 10. For a fall fragrance, for what I look for, to me, this would be a 10. The only thing that might knock at that point is I don't know the performance yet, based off what I've seen off the test strip that I sprayed on. You know, like I said, at this point on my wrist, it doesn't seem like this is going to be a monster projector, but it does seem like it's going to be good enough. So for that reason, I'm going to give this a 9. But I think that's going to wrap us up. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully I was able to give a good presentation and a good breakdown of the new Parfums de Marly Althaïr. Or Altair. I think I've seen somebody call it Altair. I thought with the little 2 dots over the I, it's Altair, but I could be wrong. As everybody knows, if you've watched this channel long enough, I English real good. Yeah, so that's going to wrap us up. Go ahead and get in on that. Got that nice little vanilla touch right there. But all right, As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone who subscribed. Thank you for everything. Genuinely appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.